Okay, great. All right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here alongside Mo from NRG, who was instrumental in helping us define what we call the Zynga advantage. So in my role at Zynga, I focus primarily on product and marketing strategy for live games and games in development. However, in conversations with Gabrielle Heyman and Anna Baxter from the ad sales team, we realized the need to better understand how our players feel about ads, especially given all of the growth across the portfolio. So we partnered with Mo from NRG on a quantitative study that took course over 3 waves in 2020. The first wave was in January and February, the second was in April, and the third was in October. Today, we're going to focus on the highlights from the most recent wave in October. I'm going to talk about our players as media and entertainment consumers, and then turn it over to Mo to elaborate on their relationship with advertising. A few notes about sample. We surveyed what we call active mobile gamers, and these are folks who play games at least an hour a week on a weekly basis. And then we also talked to folks who we sort of classify as non-mobile gamers. And these are folks who haven't played games within the past week. Everybody that we spoke to was within the ages of 13 to 64. And for the purposes of today, we're going to focus on Zynga mobile gamers, who are also referred to as ZMGs in the deck, in case that looks a little funny to you, and what makes them such a high quality audience for advertising. So we'll get into more detail throughout the presentation, but at a high level, they are, and I'll let it build, they are more engaged gamers, heavy consumers of media and entertainment, more positive about ad experiences, and more likely to take action after ad exposure. It's crazy kind of when I think about how much the gaming industry has evolved since my early days at LucasArts. I got my start in 2004 on the PC console side of the business, and remember all the bad stereotypes about gamers being guys in hoodies, playing all day in their basements. And at that time, my family really didn't understand my job. They kind of had no idea what I was doing for a living. They were excited that I was working on Star Wars and Indiana Jones, but they were kind of like, PS what? Xbox, huh? Like they just didn't get it. And then all of a sudden, mobile gaming came about, and mobile really changed everything. So by removing the friction around hardware and software, it truly opened up gaming to the mass market. So most people have a smartphone or a tablet, and the majority of the games are free. So really anyone can play, including my mom, who now qualifies as a gamer, as does my sister, my brother-in-law, and my 11-year-old daughter, because they all play Words with Friends 2 together every week. And then my husband and my 9-year-old son both love cars. So CSR2 is a little bit more in their wheelhouse, whereas Mo from NRG is all about Pokemon Go, Clash Royale, and Agresuko, hopefully I pronounced that right, Mo, which is a Sanrio puzzle game. So why does every generation play mobile games? Sure, there's an element of escape and relaxation and fantasy fulfillment, but at the end of the day, people play mobile games because it's accessible and flexible entertainment that makes them feel good about themselves. So good game design allows for autonomy and competence, meaning that as a player, the choices I make in the game determine how successful I am. And who doesn't like completing a new or a hard challenge or moving up to the next level? It's human nature to seek mastery and progression, which is why we see it in so many other areas of life, like sports and education and career development, and which is why it feels so good in games. So having established that mobile games are mass market entertainment that makes people feel good about themselves, it's no surprise that 3 in 4 Zynga mobile gamers say games are their happy place and spark joy. And that Zynga mobile gamers spend more time playing games than other activities on their smartphone devices. They also download more games. So 6.3 new games in the past 6 months compared to 4.6 among what we call average mobile gamers. So those are folks who aren't currently playing a Zynga title. There are also more voracious media and entertainment consumers. So you can see, right, Zynga mobile gamers, they love games, but they're also highly engaged in other types of apps like music, social media, and most importantly, shopping. And they were more likely to see movies in the theater back when that was an option, and hopefully it will become one again very soon. They also tune into multiple streaming services and tend to have more paid subscriptions. They regularly play games on console, which I don't think that's a big surprise either. And while they're a highly engaged audience, with not only with content, but also with ads. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mo to elaborate.
Thanks, Melissa. So let's hope tech is on our side.
Fingers crossed.
Okay. So can you see?
I can see. Yep. And you're on the right slide.
Amazing. So thanks, Melissa. So before I take you through kind of the ad experiences that Zynga mobile gamers had and the sentiments that they have, just a quick spiel about myself. My name is Moeka Komachi, and I go by Mo. I'm one of the directors of the platforms and technology team at NRG, and had the honor of partnering with Melissa and her team to do this study. And in terms of my day-to-day, I'm a gamer in and out of work. So, just my job feels like a really good marriage between a lot of the stuff that I'm passionate about, right? So gaming, finding answers to a lot of tough questions, and then kind of weaving the pieces together to provide actionable insights to clients like Melissa. So coming back to what's on the slide here and the presentation. So what we learned from the data is that Zynga mobile gamers exhibit what we're calling the 3 I's. And I'm going to go through each I in greater detail as the presentation progresses. But just as an overview, you see them right here. And the first I being that they're involved, right? Like as Melissa kind of talked us through earlier, they're really already engaging in and enjoying the activities that really expose them to ad experiences, be that movies, watching TVs, and things like that. So again, that makes them a prime target for different ad experiences. And the second I is that they're impacted by ads, right? So what that means is, once they're exposed to an ad, they have more call to action. So they're more likely to look up more information, or even to an extent buy the purchase that they're being advertised to. So we'll learn more about that again in the later slides. And then the last I is that they're interested, right? So on top of, being more involved and kind of being more influenced by ads, they're also interested and show an affinity and favorability towards the different ad experiences that we expose them to. So the first I, right? So let's get deep into what the first I involved entails. So they're more tuned into content, making them really a reachable audience across different media experiences. So in the questionnaire, we asked them about kind of the leisurely activities that people are engaging in and enjoying. And you'll see that we're showing the top 6 activities here. And we see watching TV, playing video games, cooking, exercise, reading books, shopping for fun. So all these activities, digital or otherwise, are opportunities for ads to kind of make a presence in front of Zynga mobile gamers. So you'll see a lot of numbers here, but really what we're focusing on is the bolded ones. So the 78s, the 69, 56, those are the scores Zynga mobile gamers had. And we're comparing that against average gamers, which again, as a reminder, are the non-Zynga mobile gamers. And then what's also really compelling here to call out are the kind of the smallest font we have there, which are our non-mobile gamers. So at a whole, right, what does this all mean? We're seeing that mobile gamers, again, Zynga or otherwise, are really over-indexing on these key metrics, with this one being the leisurely activities that they're engaging in. And then moving on to our second eye, they're impacted by ads or they're influenced by them, right? So the ads are much more likely to make an imprint on memory. And you'll see that we have a lot of info on here. So I'll take you through each. So let's focus on what's on the left here, right? So we asked them about the mobile gaming ad experiences. So to be clear, we're talking about the ads that people are exposed to while playing mobile games. And we learned that 52% of Zynga mobile gamers say that these ads, again, on mobile games are memorable compared to just 30% of what we're calling average gamers. And on top of that, they display a lot more call to action, right? So 2 in 5 Zynga mobile gamers looked for more information upon seeing that ad. And more remarkably, you'll see that nearly a third actually went out and purchased that product that was being advertised. And then moving on to what's on the second half of the slide, we're now talking about different TV ad experiences, right? So we see that more than 3 in 4 Zynga mobile gamers said that ads that they see on TV are memorable. And then zooming in on, again, the call to action piece of it. So 1 in 2 Zynga mobile gamers actually look for more information. And then about a quarter of Zynga mobile gamers purchased that product that was advertised. And then moving on to our third last pillar, or the I, is that they're interested, right? So this is probably not surprising by this point. Melissa took us through that journey. I've talked about it a bit already, but really what we're learning is that they over-index on a lot of KPIs pertaining to kind of the affinity and favorability towards these different ad mediums, right? So whether it's TV ads or social media ads that are on desktop, laptop, mobile devices, even online video ads across these different platforms and TV, and mobile app ads, mobile gaming ads, banner ads. Towards all of these different ad mediums, Zynga mobile gamers were twice as likely to be paying attention to them. And also they were twice as favorable towards these different experiences. And I mean, good news for advertisers and good news all around is that Zynga mobile gamers know what they want from in-game ad experiences, and they weren't shy to tell us what they wanted, right? So let's go through specifically what they're looking for in mobile gaming ads. So to be clear, in the questionnaire, we had a designated section in which we asked pre-pointed questions about the types of ads they wanted to see and what they wanted to get in return. So we really learned that Zynga mobile gamers are willing to trade attention for rewards. So over 2/3 like getting in-game rewards. So these could be in the forms of coins or maybe extra lives. But the fact that they're being rewarded for it really adds this interesting layer to this story. And when we asked a forced choice question in which we asked about the format of the ads that they wanted to see, you'll see that the majority, so 42%, really don't have a preference between the types of in-ad experiences that they want to see. But when we hone in on what's in the red bars here, something interesting really popped to us, right? So there's a slight skew for interactive in-game video ads. And when we say interactive, we're talking about playables, right? So you see that, we're probably all familiar with any form of ads that come in through gameplay. And these are the ads where they kind of let you play and get a feel for the gameplay versus the non-interactive or the non-playable ads where it's 26% there are kind of the more passive experiences where it's like the video plays at you, you're kind of taking a seat back. And yeah, again, there's a slight skew for the former with 32% saying they prefer the interactive types. And then lastly, we also asked about the types of products and services that they want to see advertised across different mediums, right? And when we focus again on the top performers, so the first row, you'll see that a lot of the things that they over-index on are the things that we had talked about in our 3 I's, right? Especially the first one, that they're more involved. And like Melissa had said, they're already engaged in these different types of mediums, products and services. So it makes intuitive sense. And it's also, again, good news that, the products that they're interested in seeing advertised are in line with that. So, from movies to TV shows, tech devices, mobile games, food, beverage, mobile apps, all the way down to what we see in the third row, including things like subscription services as well. So now that we've talked at you all. We're excited to receive any questions, comments. Let's see. Melissa, I have a question for you.
Yes, Mo.
Which insight was kind of most surprising to you?
I think I would say like how impacted our players are by ads and how likely they are to actually to take an action after exposure. And honestly, like going into this study, I think we were pretty confident about what we would see, kind of from a gaming perspective, but I really wasn't sure kind of what the results would look like on the ad side of things, because we'd never really dug this deep before.
Yeah, and I think also it was cool and also surprising to me too, in kind of a positive way, that like you said in our methodology section, we did this 3 times, and all 3 times at different periods, like very critically different periods, right? We have pre-COVID and during COVID, and yet the findings were very, very consistent. If anything, I don't think there was a single change in behavior, which is really interesting to kind of keep an eye on as hopefully life goes back to normal.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, the thing about our industry is that, people love gaming, right? And they play games because it makes them feel good about themselves, and it's a hobby. And for some people, it's a lifestyle, right? And it's a ritual, and it's something that you do every day that brings you maybe a little bit of comfort, a little bit of joy. And one of the great, like, it's kind of unfortunate, but it's also like one of the great aspects about mobile specifically is that, pre-COVID, people loved games, right? And then during COVID, it's also been like an outlet for people in a way that maybe it wasn't necessarily before, because people are finding new ways to kind of connect and play together, because so much, right, of your social interactions are digital, kind of at this point in time. And so it's unfortunate that we're, kind of in this pandemic, and that we've been in this pandemic for so long, but it does make me really proud to be a part of an industry that have kind of helped people feel better, right? A little bit better, kind of along the way, right?
Yeah, and it also seamlessly just fits into people's lives even more so now, right? Like across focus groups, I like to ask just how people are feeling in their times as a warm-up activity before we even get into the mobile gaming concepts and things like that. And everyone without fail would be like, oh, like, I started this puzzle game, or like, oh, I started taking care of these like kitties online and things like that. And a lot of them also are pretty unapologetic about when they're playing too, because it's like, oh, like during Zoom, no one's gonna know if I'm playing it on my little desk here. Oh, like during class, the professor doesn't like make us put our screen up, so I don't have my camera on. I'm just playing a casual, or it's with friends here, Candy Crush here and things like that. So it's interesting.
All that to say is that we don't want to take people away from their job responsibilities and their education, but it's
a little escape.
Yeah, it's really funny too, because my kids have been in Zoom school for the whole year, and the teachers have what they call gamer face, so they can tell like when the kids are kind of second screening, and they'll be like, I think I see some gamer face happening here.
That's so funny. I used to be a teacher, and I used to call kids out on like texting faces, so they have their phone like under the desk, and they're like curiously looking down. It's like, I think that's texting face. So I guess we've evolved since, and now gaming.
Yep. Gamer face now too.
Well, thank you both so much. This was such a great presentation to end on. I so appreciate you guys sharing your insights and finding with our brand innovators community today.
Well, thank you so much for having us, Emily. I think like for me, this was my first one, so I'm over the hump.
Oh my gosh. Now you're a pro. You'll be ready to do anything in the future. You couldn't even tell. We had the session before you, it was both of their first times as well. Which, sometimes people are more excited when they haven't done it before. So glad that it was a good first experience for you.
Yes, very cool. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hope to have you both again soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Well, that is a wrap for today's live cast on consumer engagement. Thank you so much to Melissa and Moeka for that amazing presentation, as well as all of our speakers throughout today's event. Our Brand Innovators team is gearing up for our biggest tentpole ever. Our Trend Watch Summit is going to run next week from Tuesday to Friday. These 4 days are going to be packed out with so many incredible marketing leaders. So be sure to join in. Tuesday, we'll be kicking off at 11:20 Eastern time. And we'll be hearing from speakers from Pizza Hut, Walmart, Kimberly-Clark, PepsiCo, Ruby Tuesdays, and many, many more. So you won't want to miss it. But thank you all for tuning in today, and we'll see you next week.